Not yet, sir.
Okay, sige. Before we proceed, andito na ba yung call?
Yes, sir, we have a quorum, sir.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Good morning, everyone. This is welcome to the 10 a.m. BAC Bravo meeting. So, Secretariat, can we, just for records purposes, can you acknowledge the presence of the quorum?
Sir, we already have a quorum, sir. We have General Milo, we have Engineer Gary JD. We also have Miss Joyce Singh. And
Good morning, President.
And we also have our end user, sir, from the FICG.
Okay, thank you.
Morning, sir.
Thank you for attending. In the interest of time, since we started late, let's already dispense with the roll call. Let's proceed with the primary items on the agenda. I just wanna ask for help lang po. Who's here ba? General Milo, maybe you can help me because I'm currently presiding 2 meetings and attending 1 meeting at the
Yes, sir.
3 meetings.
Sige, sir Rob. Okay, no problem.
Be able to actively participate, but I will be online. So let's proceed na lang po with the primary items on the agenda. Just opening the meeting, I think the first one is the first one is the video conference for the Lease of aircraft for CAAP-FICG flight mission nationwide, amounting to 107,050,000 pesos as FICG item. Can we just proceed with this, please? Thank you.
Sir, this will be presented by Captain Randy Morico. Sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Let me just share my screen.
We will also admit our prospective bidders.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Attorney, naririnig po ako?
Yes, sir. Sir, pa-enlarge na lang po nung document, sir. Captain Randy, before you start, sir, we request our prospective bidders to introduce themselves and the company that they represent. Sir, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm Arnold Picard, General Manager from Pacific Global One.
Thank you, sir. Do we have other prospective bidders?
Piero Rodriguez, Asian Aerospace po. Good morning.
Thank you, sir. In the interest of time, to our prospective bidders, should you have any questions or clarifications later, for records purposes, just please introduce yourself and the company you represent before asking your questions. And also, please type in our chat box your names and your company. Thank you. Captain Randy, you may proceed na po, sir. Captain Randy?
Good morning, Eddie Desa from Asia.
Hello, attorney.
Yes, Captain.
Should I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is a pre-bid conference for the project of the CAAP, the procurement for the lease of aircraft for CAAP-FICG flight operation mission nationwide. We've already made available the bid documents, so perhaps by now everybody has gone through the documents. We'll just focus on the important parts of the bid docs. If there are any questions, you may interrupt me anytime. Proceeding to the invitation to bid. So we are offering an invitation to bid for the lease of aircraft for CAAP-FICG flight operation mission nationwide. Okay. With bid number 22-004-02 Bravo. The approved budget for the contract is 127 million and 50,000 pesos. This is taken from the CAAP corporate operating budget for fiscal year 2022. So we are inviting bids for this project. This project is required to conduct flight inspection, calibration, and validation of CNS ATM systems and facilities nationwide, and also the aerial inspection of Philippine aerodromes. For this purpose, bidders should have completed within the last 10 years from the date of the deadline of submission of bids at least 2 similar contracts for the past 10 years. Other description of an eligible bidder is contained in the ITB. So a complete set of bidding documents will be acquired with our secretariat for an amount of 56,000 pesos. So as indicated in the invitation, today is the pre-bid conference, and we have scheduled the deadline for the submission of bids on or before 10 o'clock in the morning of March 14, 2022. All bids must be accompanied by a bid security, and the opening shall be conducted immediately thereafter, 10 a.m. of March 14, 2022. For further information, kindly contact Dr. Oli Bayaban, the overall head of our BAC Secretariat. Going to the instruction to bidders. So the project title is the lease of aircraft for CAAP-FICG flight operation mission nationwide. Bid number 22-004-02 Bravo. Hereinafter referred to as the project, it is composed of one lot only, and the details are specified in the technical specifications. The approved budget is 127,050,000. Source of funding is the CAAP-COB for fiscal year 2022. So we'd just like to clarify this one. Basically, for procurement, where we have determined that being very strict with the SSLC will result in a monopoly that will defeat the purpose of public bidding. We have suggested that the experience of the bidder shall be limited to at least 2 similar contracts, the aggregate amount of which should be equivalent to at least 25% of the ABC. And also the largest of these similar contracts must be equivalent to at least half of the percentage of the ABC as required. So, following these parameters, 25% of the ABC will be equal to 31.76 million, and at least one contract should have an amount of 15.88 million or more. By the way, regarding the same matter, please be informed that the SLCC of at least one contract should have at least 50% of the ABC being the reference amount. For bid security, the bid and the bid security shall be valid for 120 calendar days from the opening of bids. All other items in the ITB are generic provisions of the bid documents for instruction to bidders. Going to section 3, bid data sheet. So ITB class 5.3, contracts similar to the project referred to contracts which are for lease of aircraft to a government entity or any government agency. And the contract must have been completed within the 10-year period prior to the deadline of submission and receipt of bids. So the bidder shall submit the following documents. And these are also generic provisions of the bid docs. For the technical documents, we will require a statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts. Included here as Annex A, Form 1. So if the bidder is only offering a single largest completed contract, it should be at least 50% of the ABC.
Captain Randy? Sir?
If the experience is composed of at least 2 completed contracts, the aggregate amount should be at least 25% of the ABC.
Captain Randy, sir? Sir?
Another major requirement should be that the bidder should be an air operator certificate holder.
Captain Randy, sir? If I may interrupt, sir, I think the screen froze. It is not moving on our end, sir.
Letter I, project requirement. We have included here a statement or a form that specifies your conformity with the technical specifications,
Hindi ka ata marinig,
and the list of equipment that the bidder is offering for the project.
Captain Randy, you hear me? Captain Morico, Captain Morico, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. Captain Morico, so if you read me, the secretariat is asking you to verify your presentation. Seemingly it is not moving at your end. If you can read me. Thank you.
Attorney, may ano po? May
Sir, hindi po
may
gumagalaw
problema screen
yung
po?
hindi po gumagalaw yung screen, sir. Nasa number 3 pa lang po kami nung invitation to bid, sir. Sir, can you reshare your screen na lang po para po gumalaw?
Okay, so to continue, for
Captain Randy,
the technical
sir?
documents, we also require a legal clearance to be issued by the CAAP, Legal Enforcement and Legal Service,
Yes, Mr. Chair. For this, wala akong mic.
aside from the other certifications that has to be presented. For the financial documents, these are also generic provisions in the bid docs.
Captain Morico? Sir, your presentation is not moving, sir. Captain Morico, sir, may we request you to stop sharing and then reshare your screen, sir?
Hindi ka ata maririnig, Attorney Iris. If I may back in, Captain Morico, if I may repeat the request of Attorney Presyo, Attorney Iris of Secretariat. Kindly stop sharing and reshare. Baka parang i-ano mo lang, i-reshare mo lang ulit. Baka nag-hang. It's not moving. If you read me. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Sir, please reshare your screen na lang po.
Baksek, narinig po ako.
Yes, sir. But we cannot see your screen, sir. Nag-freeze po siya kanina.
Hello?
We apologize for the technical difficulties we have. I think FICG is still working on resharing the screen.
Hello, anybody from nakakarinig, please? Just to
Yes, sir.
confirm.
We can hear you, sir. Captain Morico, we can hear you, sir.
Sir Sunny, ano ba ako? Naririnig ba ako?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Captain Norco, this is General Milo. How do you read me? 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. Wala. Maybe Captain Moric, ano mo na lang siguro. Iris, kindly have it. Yung kung he can transmit but he cannot receive. So maybe a little adjustment on his present location. Kasi okay naman eh.
Sir,
So
he was disconnected, sir. He will reconnect daw po.
because of the baka pwedeng ilapit niya sa bintana o something like that. Kasi okay na ang transmission niya eh. Ang reception niya, yung pag-receive niya sa atin ang problema.
Yes, sir. I coordinated with him na po.
Sige, tinetext ko rin eh. Sige. Anyway, nag-left na ata siya. Adjusting na siya. Sige, okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nag-join na siya.
Sir, good morning again. Sorry. More internet connection lang po. So, ma'am, request lang ako. Saan ako na huling na-drop?
Sir, I think it is in the SLCC, sir.
Okay, SLCC. Going back. Okay. So, going back to the SLCC, good morning again po. Going back to the SLCC, if the experience of the bidder is only one contract, it should be at least equivalent to 50% of the ABC for this project. However, to make the bidding more open to more interested bidders, okay, we are also accepting bids from those with prior experience of at least 2 completed contracts with an aggregate amount of 25% of the ABC. And then another technical document that we would be requiring would be the air operator certificate issued by the CAAP for the operator. With regards to the project requirement, we have included here a form that would be filled up by the prospective bidder, stating the conformity with the technical specifications and also the schedule of delivery of the components of the project and the list of the bidder's major equipment. We are referring here to the aircraft and the flight inspection system as the equipment. And then along with the technical documents, please include the legal clearance to be issued by our CAAP Enforcement and Legal Service. Other contents of the bid documents are standard provisions in the bid documents. So the second envelope shall contain the financial documents for the bid. Okay. So this consists of the financial bid form and the duly signed price schedule. All bids exceeding the ABC of the project shall automatically be disqualified. For bid security, referring to the ABC of this project, the bid security should be at least 2,541,000 if it is in cash, or 6,352,500 pesos if the bid is in security bond. I mean, if the bid security is in surety bond. So just as a reminder, we reiterate that each and every page of the bid document should be initialed and signed. Pagination should be sequential, and one copy for the first and second component of each bid.
Captain Randy, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
na-freeze na naman po yung screen po ninyo.
Okay. So although we are requiring different aircraft for this project, partial bids are not allowed. The project is packaged in a single lot, and the lot cannot be divided into sublots for the purpose of bidding evaluation and contract award. So the bidder with the lowest calculated bid will be informed by our office, and you'll be submitting your documents under 20.2, income tax, return, business license, audited financial statement, and key personal licenses. BDS 20.2, we've already discussed this. You should have a valid AOC approved by the CAAP. And the technical specifications included in the bid doc shall be an integral part of the contract. So once the bid has been received and opened, okay, the technical working group shall be verifying the capability and availability of the flight inspection system and all associated equipment within the post-qualification period. Okay. We understand that as of now, you may not have the FIS with you, but please ensure that in all the documents that you will be presenting to the CAAP-FICG, the FIS and the equipment shall be available for use by the flight inspection team 15 days after the issuance of the notice to proceed. Otherwise, the lease contract shall be cancelled and the performance security shall be forfeited in favor of the CAAP. The same thing for the aircraft. We shall be verifying that the aircraft is available within 15 days from issuance of notice to proceed. Otherwise, the same thing, performance security shall be forfeited in favor of the CAAP. And the two primary and substitute aircraft should be identified in your bid. Section 4 covers the general conditions of the contract, and these are all generic provisions. So we'll jump to special conditions. So the contract shall be valid for a period of 1 year from the issuance of the notice to proceed. Enclosed with the terms of reference or the technical specifications, we have an annual flight inspection schedule, which shall be adjusted to the start or to coincide with the start of the project. Every month, we will be writing the winning bidder of the schedule for the month. And also every week, we will make a coordination letter to the winning bidder to clarify the route plan, the time of departures, arrivals, time of flight check. And all of these details will be submitted to the service provider. Okay na po?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, again, the contract shall be valid for a period of 1 year from the issuance of the NTP. The technical specifications contain the annual schedule of flight inspection of the CAAP. And in addition to that, we have to adjust the schedule to coincide with the notice to proceed that will be issued later. Since this is an annual schedule, we will also confirm all the flights through a monthly schedule approved by the CAAP and also a weekly coordination memorandum, which contains the flight route, times of departure and arrivals, times of flight check, location of RONs, and this shall be submitted by the FICG or the end user to the service provider prior to the start of every flight check, either at the start of every month and at the start of every week. So because of the urgency of the requirement, we cannot extend the compliance time. We have to start 15 days, within 15 days from the issuance of the notice to proceed. The minimum major equipment that will be used is one jet aircraft, okay, a flight inspection system installed on that aircraft, and a pressurized turboprop aircraft. We have anticipated that all the aircraft may be undergoing maintenance or some other activities. So we also require the provision of substitute aircraft, but initially it need only to be identified in the contract. But it must be made available whenever the primary aircraft is not available. So again, we only have 15 days to from the issuance of the NTP to commence the flight check. All incidental services shall be included in the costing of the bids. So this includes all logistical requirement, aircraft maintenance, airworthiness release, flight planning, all POLs, ground handling, hangar age, all permits when necessary, tools and equipment for the assembly and maintenance of the equipment, all maintenance activities should be considered by the bidder and under the at the expense of the bidder. The trainings of the procuring entities personnel in the operation and maintenance of the supplied equipment or goods, and the periodic update and calibration of the flight inspection system and all navigational equipment and flight management system database. Again, all these items should be included in the contract price. Since the equipment is being leased only by the CAAP, all spare parts shall be at the expense of the winning bidder, the contractor. The terms of payment is already provided in the technical specs. The lease cost in terms of hourly rate for each type of aircraft shall be provided, and it shall be incorporated in the contract. This is necessary because even if we program for a flight, let's say estimated at 3 hours, there will be times when we will not actually consume the entire 3 hours and we're already done with the job. So the CAP will only pay for the actual flight time consumed for the flight check. There are also provisions for retention money. And this may be waived by the CAAP where all deliveries have been satisfactorily complied with. So every time before a flight check is conducted, we will be conducting inspection and test on the flight inspection system and the FMS, depending on the equipment necessary for the flight. The aircraft may be pre-positioned at the CAAP hangar for such purpose. Other pre-flight inspections shall be conducted in accordance with civil air regulations and aircraft manufacturers' specifications. In case there will be a discrepancy affecting any flight mission, the service provider is given a maximum of 2 days to resolve the issues so we can continue with the flight. This is limited to 2 days only because we are also coordinating with air traffic control. So if there are delays in the flight check, will also be affecting the operation of the airports, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. So if after 2 days the issue has not been resolved, the service provider is deemed to be in delay. And as liquidated damages, the CAAP will be charging 0.1% of the cost of the unperformed flight mission for every day of delay in the provision of aircraft. If the delay reaches 45 days, the CAAP has the option to rescind the contract entirely. For the schedule of requirements, the jet aircraft with an FIS consisting of one lot should be available 15 days after the issuance of the NTP. Pressurized turboprop aircraft should also be available 15 days after the issuance of the notice to proceed. The type rating training for each of the aircraft should be coordinated within 30 days after the issuance of the NTP. FIS trainings, also 30 days. And we need to undergo a quarterly FIS calibration. So that will be 4 lots to be conducted every after 90 days. The first lot, okay, is assumed to be at the start of the flight check activity. So upon issuance of the notice to proceed, we need to undergo the FIS calibration already, so that when flights start, the FIS is already calibrated. Also with the flight management system, because the contents of the database is very important for flight check. So the FMS should be updated first time before the start of the project and every after 90 days thereafter. So the technical specifications are already included in the bid documents. If there are any questions, we will proceed to that in a while. Also, the schedule for the year is already included in the technical specifications. I'm sorry I could not rotate my screen, but if you will note here, last January we are supposed to have started with the ILS and the VOR of Bacolod and the VOR of Rojas. So once the project is awarded, this will also be the start of our flight inspections. The month will be adjusted to the month where the project is commenced. Also, we have the breakdown of the hours allotted for each station. This is just for purposes of computation. Based on our experience, this is more than enough to conduct each and every flight check. Mark, pag nag-freeze, pakitanong kung saan part nag-freeze. Mamaya, Saan po nag-freeze yung screen kanina? Para mabalikan kung may kailangan.
Sir, proceed na lang po siguro kayo doon sa last po na slide na pinakita po.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So the annual schedule and the breakdown of hours are already included in the technical specifications. Kindly refer to them. It will be adjusted, the month will be adjusted to coincide with the month when the notice to proceed is issued. So this is the statement of compliance included in the technical specifications. And then section 8 is the checklist and required technical documents or other B documents for this project. Again, these are all generic provisions. Except for item H, which is an air operator certificate approved by the CAAP. And the legal clearance to be issued by the CAAP-FICG. Section 9 contains the bidding forms. The bid form is generic bid form. Annex A Form 1 is the statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. Form 2 is the statement of largest completed contract similar to this project. Annex A Form 3 is the joint resolution in case of a joint venture. And then we have other bidding forms. First is the bid securing declaration, Annex B Form 1. Next, B Form 2 is the schedule of requirements. The schedule of requirements is actually the delivery schedule. Okay. So if I may go back to the delivery schedule, item numbers are the sequential items. Instead of position or title, it's a description of the item to be delivered. That is in page 32. So description number one, item number 1 is jet aircraft with an onboard flight inspection system. Quantity is 1, unit is slot, and the date or the time to deliver. This must be completed due to the space limitation. Please just insert additional rows for this form. Okay, and this will be submitted signed by the bidder, the authorized person, the position, name of company, and the date. For technical specifications, okay. This is also a statement of the compliance. Please just include the letterhead of your company. So this is a 4-page form, also signed and completed by the authorized person in the company. The next form 4, is the omnibus warrant statement. For other bidding forms, okay, again, apologies for not being able to rotate this form. But as you can see here, this is the detail and price schedule for the equipment that is being offered for lease. We have the jet aircraft with an FIS. The primary aircraft should be identified. The substitute aircraft should also be identified. And the FIS make and model should be included. Okay. For this entire lot, please provide us the price for an estimated 263 hours of use. Okay. So this is just for the jet aircraft with an FIS. Another form, which is a continuation of the same form, page 2 rather, we are looking for a turboprop aircraft with a pressurized cabin. The primary aircraft offered should be identified, and the substitute should also be named here. Okay. This is estimated for a use of 306 hours. and the prices shall be indicated in the blanks. And then finally, another jet aircraft to be used for airport inspections, it may be the same as the primary aircraft for, it may be the same as the primary and substitute aircraft for navigational aids flight check. But this time, since we are not going to use the flight inspection system, we are hoping for a different price for this particular item. So this is intended to be used for 70 hours. So after that, the totals will be indicated in the summary of bid proposal. We have here the 3 aircraft, the unit price, the total price, and duly signed and submitted by the bid proponent. The next form is just the statement of net financial contracting capacity. And we have the 2 more forms, Annex D, Authority of Signatory, SPA, and Secretary Certificate. So that's all for the bid forms or bid documents for this project. Thank you po. I return the table to Sir, Presiding Officer, please.
General Milo, sir.
Yes, Attorney Aris.
Sir, the end user has already finished presenting for the pre-bid conference, sir. We are already open, sir, for questions.
Andyan na si Sir Rob.
Yes, apologies. So, katapos na ng dalawang meeting. So I heard we were already done with the presentation. Do we have bidders present here for the bid conference?
Yes, sir. We do have 2 bidders present, sir.
Sige.
One from
With that-
Pacific Global and from Asian Aerospace.
Okay. All right. At this juncture, we open the floor for any queries or clarification from our prospective bidders, if there's any. Are there any questions, clarifications?
Yeah, I have, this is Arnold Picar from Pacific Global One. I have several questions, clarifications.
Go ahead po.
First of which is, when you say previous contracts of the same nature, does that mean the bidder, the would-be bidder like us, has to have a experience or contract of the same nature as having performed flight inspection, calibration, and inspection of aerodromes? Or you mean that as long as we have government other than flight inspection and calibration and inspection of aerodromes?
Sir, maybe our end user could answer that.
Yes, sir, thank you. Sir, it is specified in the bid data sheet, page 19, that For this purpose, the experience refers to simply lease of aircraft to a government entity. No mention of flight inspection experience.
All right, thank you. I have a follow-up question. We intend to go into a joint venture agreement. Uh, we're looking at two. One of them is a foreign company. Can we have a joint venture contract with a foreign company?
Um, one moment, please, sir. Let me just. Sir, from the side of the end user, it's okay to have a joint venture with another company, but it should meet the requirements of the Republic Act 9184. All provisions with respect to joint ventures that is provided in the procurement law should be observed.
Okay. So I guess we will have to check RA 9184. Right, thank you. One last question on my end. With regards to the requirement for a turboprop, you have to fly it. We have to fly it for 306 hours. Does the turboprop has to have an FIS on board or no?
No, sir. Okay, sir. This specific item is in the terms of reference, paragraph 8.2. Requirements for the flight inspection of visual aids. The turboprop is not necessary to have an FIS, but it should have a flight management system with an updated database and a radio altimeter.
Okay. That would be all on my end. If we have any other questions, can we follow-up questions? Can we make an email to you or forward you a formal letter?
Yes, based on the GPPB rules, any questions that were not raised here, you still have the opportunity to send them in writing, and we 10 days before the scheduled opening of the bids. So we will answer the questions in your letter. Just send it to the BAC Secretariat if you have any further questions.
So after this pre-bid conference, there will be a bid bulletin number 2, right?
Sir, it would depend if we have changes in the bid document, sir. But we will make the necessary bid bulletin, sir, if there will be any changes, sir. We will be putting the email address of BAC Bravo in our chat box, sir. Should you have any questions,
All right.
you may email that.
All right. Thank you so much, Attorney. Thank you, Mr. Buenaventura and Mr. Milo.
All right, thank you. For the other bidders, if you have any questions, this is the time to raise them.
No questions po.
Mr. Peter, you have questions?
No questions po.
All right, sige. No
Thank you.
further questions. Sige, there being no further questions, meron pa? AAC Sales? Can we meet please? Yeah. You have questions?
Yes, sir.
Nag-feedback lang po yung mic niya, sir.
Questions?
And I think they're having some technical difficulties. If you can type your questions in the chat box, maybe you can do that as well. We'll read them. Okay na po ba, sir? I think your mic is better now.
Good morning.
Yes, go ahead with your question, please.
Eddie Desa from Asian Aerospace. Some clarification on the financial documents for eligibility check. Letter A, I think this is not applicable to us because it is for construction company. Page 85, sir.
There's a question regarding the eligibility requirements. Maybe we can have the end user address this or the TWG. Which one, Sir Ed, again? Which particular one?
Letter A, the summary of the applicant's supplier distribution manufacturer, the assets and schedule of fixed assets.
Okay, and that these are not applicable to for this project because this pertains to construction.
Yeah, yes, yes, attorney.
Sige. Can we do have a response to that?
Sir,
TWG?
if I may, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Sir, make necessary bid bulletin to clarify the inquiry of the clarification of Asian Aerospace, sir.
So we'll issue a bid bulletin on this item.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir Ed,
Another question,
Yes, go ahead.
attorney, on letter B, on the certified copy, who will certify the one that we're going to submit? Is it us or the BAR? For the income tax?
TWG?
Sir Ed? Sir, is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
for the audited financial statement, sir?
Yes, attorney.
Sir, it is the BIR, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions, sir?
Another, on the retention money, is it really required that there's a retention money on the contract?
Maybe ask the end user to address the question.
Yes, sir. So, if we will go back to the schedule of the schedule of deliveries,
Yes.
there are certain items there that has to be provided. Actually, this is before we even start the flight inspection. So, if such deliverables are up to date, so let's say, first of all, we do not know the type of aircraft that is going to be offered and the type of flight inspection system that is going to be offered by any of the bidder. So once this is provided, the inspector, both pilot and the CMS flight inspector at the back should undergo training on this specific type of aircraft and FIS. So just to make sure that the training requirements are met timely, we are providing for the retention money. And also the update of the database, this is very essential. There must be a current database on the aircraft because this is practically a very important tool during flight checks. If we will not be able to have the updated databases and the trainings, it may affect the performance of the conduct of the flight check. So yes, we need to complete first all these deliverables before the CAAP can put aside the retention money in subsequent billing periods. That's all.
Clarification, because on the delivery dates, it's stated that 15 days, 30 days after the NTP. So if training will be required, I think the 15 days and 30 days is not enough.
Captain Morico, sir.
Yes, sir. Actually, it's 30 days ang provision for the training.
For the issuance of NTP.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but okay, we'll check on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry to butt in. Thank you, Brother Ed.
Hello? Yeah. Sir, with regards to this query regarding the delivery, if you have any data that you can forward to us regarding the coordination of the trainings, please, if you could furnish us information at least 10 days before the opening of the bids, so that if there will be changes, we can put it in the subsequent bid bulletin.
To try to get with it, but I think if this will be only the basis of the retention money, I think we can waive on the retention money. You just put it that this should be complied. If my
Sir, is that okay?
Yeah, with the present situation between what's happening now in Ukraine and Russia, is there a possibility that we can ask for some price adjustment if the cost of fuel really escalates?
PWG, can we do that? I think that it might be premature to include any provision in that aspect, Miss. Pwede ba yun?
Sir, we will review on that, sir. We will
Sige.
ask our finance department, sir, on that, sir. Sir Ed, should there be any changes, sir, we will issue the necessary bid bulletin for that particular issue, sir.
Thank you, Attorney.
Any further questions? Alright, hearing none. As mentioned earlier, based on the rules, the BBB rules, you can still raise any questions that were not raised in this pre-bid conference until 10 days before the scheduled opening of the bids, and we will address the letters and issue the necessary bid bulletins as the need arises. So we will notify you of all of these. Considering there's no more questions, let's already close this item. Maraming salamat po for those who attended, and we look forward for your submissions. You can communicate all of the requirements with the BAC Secretariat Office. Okay, we'll just notify you of the bid bulletins if should there be any issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Sir, we will just be cleaning the room, sir. Sir, I think you're already okay, sir.
Sige. With that, let's proceed with the next item on the agenda, which is the number 3, the determination of shortlisted consultants for the procurement of survey services for the extension of and expansion of Baler Airport, amounting to 1,174,210 pesos, and ADMS DOTR downloaded project. This is determination of shortlisted consultants under what mode of procurement? Was this already mode? Was the mode already determined for this?
Yes, sir. This is for public bidding, sir.
Public.
Public bidding.
So it's a consultancy. We're gonna have the shortlist. Okay. Who will present this?
Sir, I will present this on behalf of the TWG, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. From the TWG, I will be presenting the result of the eligibility check and shortlisting of the bidders who responded to our request for expression of interest for the project procurement of survey services for the extension and expansion of Baler Airport. The location of the project is at Baler Airport, Baler Aurora. And this is a DOTR downloaded project with an approved budget of 1,974,210 pesos. So, last February 3, 2022, the bids were opened at the CAAP conference room, and we advertised and posted a request for expression of interest in the PhilJeps and CAAP website, and 3 bidders are responded, namely BAC Surveying and Titling Services, Luis L. Noble or Noble Surveying Office, and Rasa Surveying and Realty. So the submitted expression of interest was opened last February 3, as mentioned earlier, at the CAAP conference room. And among the 3 prospective consultants who submitted their eligibility documents, BAC and Rasa were disqualified. So BAC and Rasa were disqualified for failure to put the necessary pagination and initial in each and every page as required under BDS Clause 16.4, while Noble Surveying was initially rated as passed for having submitted the required documents specified in the checklist. So, upon initial evaluation of the eligibility documents, the TWG used the criteria and rating system for the short listing of that is found in the bid documents and came up with the following results. So, for the applicable experience, Noble Surveying Office submitted their list of projects. We rated them according to the number of projects and the weight of the contract or its amount. Please note that there is no specific formula in the rating, so we assign values for the weight of the contract to come up with the rating, both for the experience as well as for the qualification of personnel. I will be presenting that later. And as for the job capacity, Noble Surveying Office has no ongoing contract. Thus, they are capable of performing this project. So, Noble Surveying got 40% for the applicable experience of the firm, while for the qualification of personnel who may be assigned to the project, they got 38.56. The computation will be presented later. As for the job capacity, they got 20% considering that they have no ongoing contract. So in total, they got 98.56%, and their submission is evaluated as complete and are rated as passed, and they got a total rate above the minimum eligibility score of 70%, which we required on for this project. So Luis L. Noble submitted the contracts that are similar to nature as mentioned earlier, and considering the submitted documents, the submission of Noble Surveying Services was evaluated to be complete, and the total points based on the criteria and rating system for shortlisting is rated as passed. I will be presenting the computation and on how we came up with this rating. So for the applicable experience of the firm, since we required the list of contracts as well as the amount, so we listed the number of projects and we categorized them. Also, we considered the amount of the contract and placed our own rating. So this is how we came up with this with a computation. Also, for the key personnel, we also assigned our criteria and categorization. So for the education, for the licensed professional, we have 14 points and so on. So this is how we came up with the ratings. So overall, they got a total rating of 98.56%. So with the foregoing, the technical working group hereby recommends that Noble Surveying Office be shortlisted to attend the pre-bid conference for having been evaluated and considered as eligible to undertake the project procurement of survey services for the extension and expansion of Baler Airport for the consideration of the committee. Thank you.
All right, thank you. DWG, we have here a recommendation for the sorry, di ko mabasa. Noble, tama? Noble
Yes, sir.
Surveying Office to be shortlisted to attend the pre-bid conference for this project, Baler Airport project. Do you have any questions or clarifications from our members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt the recommendation of the TWG for the Noble and Noble Survey Office to attend and be shortlisted for the pre-bid conference as evaluated by the TWG for the procurement of survey services in the extension and expansion of Baler Airport.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Do you have any second?
I second, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you for the second. There being motion duly seconded. The recommendation of TWG is hereby adopted. The motion is carried. Let the bidder Noble Survey Office be shortlisted to attend the pre-bid conference for the Baler Airport Development Expansion Project. Do we have a timeline for this, Attorney Irish?
Yes, sir. The pre-bid conference, sir, is scheduled on March 7, sir, at I think 10 p.m. at 10 a.m., sir.
All right. Sige, just keep us posted. Just for the information of everyone, this is quite urgent because this weekend the secretary followed up on this matter, and this has been pending with the site acquisition committee for quite a while due to absence of documentation. But since this is already approved here, let's already fast track this para may report na tayo kay secretary that we're acting on it. Thank you. Sige, anything else for today's meeting? It's already 11:42. Other items for other matters, I mean?
No other matters, sir. We will make the necessary posting, sir, on our next schedule, sir.
Sige. Thank you. There being no other items na agenda, let's already adjourn this meeting. Maraming salamat po, members, for being here. Sir Milo, thank you for taking over.
You're welcome, sir.
Maraming salamat. Di ko alam gagawin ko kung wala kayo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
let's
po.
just communicate in the chat group po anong schedule. Thank you po. Maraming salamat. I think lunch is being circulated already. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Irish.
you.